Hey, what's up? This is Coach Rahien, and today I want to share a very important message with you about becoming your best self. And before I go into my message, I just want you to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button. This message is going to be really good. And the subscribe button, I'm asking you to hit that because I have a lot of people who ask me about my latest stuff because I got people used to me sending them a message that something new is up, but I don't always get to sending that message. So if you hit the subscribe button when I put out new material, you'll automatically get it. So that message is for those people. Anyway, getting right into it. Today's message is all about being your best self. And being your best self is important because you want to live life the way you see it in your mind. You want to live it to the fullest. You want to be fully engaged and fully activated so that as you go through your day-to-day, you have a sense of fulfillment. But some of us don't really fulfill our lives. We get used to a level of mediocrity. We kind of somewhere below the radar. Like we try to stay off of the radar. And the problem with living like that is that you never really feel completely like yourself. You feel like there's something else that you should be doing. Like you're not taking it to the max, and everybody can relate to it. I've felt that way plenty of times in my life. I am not one of those people who just have one talent, one thing that they're good at. I'm multi-talented. I have a few different things that I'm very good at, and I think really, truthfully, and full transparency, when you are good with your hands. Like if you're an artist and I happen to be, it makes a lot of other things easier to do because there are a lot of things that we do with our hands, So anyway, here's the point. How to live your best life, your very best life, not, where you're, just good enough, better than the people around you. But really your absolute best, not your relative best, your absolute best. Your relative best is your best relative to other people, depending on what they are doing. I'm not talking about that kind of best. I'm talking about your absolute best, the best where regardless of what people are doing around you, you are functioning at full capacity. You're in your complete purpose, right? Well, here's the easiest route, not the easiest, the simplest route to get there is to completely take yourself to the max, to your absolute max, where you reach a point where you can't go any further. Like you've done so much in your area, in the thing that you enjoy doing. You've done so much that you reach this point where you feel like you can't do anything else, right? Like you've done everything, and then push beyond that point. That's when you begin to realize that you have a second and third win. That second and third win is the pathway, is the momentum that allows us to carry on into our best self. Now, some of us, if we're honest, we look for our best self in our comfort zones, in our areas where things are easy, where things are kind of come to you, kind of coast to it, especially if you're talented. It's very easy to rest on the fact that you're just good, naturally good. But if you really want to get to your best self, your absolute best self, you have to make a concerted effort to push yourself to your limits and beyond. Your best self is beyond your limits. It's not within your limits. It's beyond your limits. The reason why your best self is beyond your limits is because your best self does not exist in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is like your level of that you can achieve. For example, I go to the gym every day, 7 days a week. The reason why I go to the gym every day, 7 days a week is because anything less than that is easy for me. Here's another thing. I go to the gym, I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Most people get up at 4, 5, some people even 6 o'clock. I get up at 3 because everything else that is later than 3 o'clock is easy for me. And I believe in self-mastery. That's what I practice. That's what my whole system is about. It's about self-mastery. The only way to reach self-mastery is to push yourself beyond what you think are your limits. And you have to get used to going above and beyond. That's what it's all about. Going above and beyond is all about reaching your limits and then asking yourself, what else can I do? What else can I do to take this thing way beyond expectations? And you have to be very cognizant of the fact, you have to have a clear mind of the fact that going above and beyond is lonely because you're going to be pushing yourself to a place where nobody else goes. I mean, it's like empty, you know? If for example, when I go to the gym, if I ever go to the gym in the afternoon or after work, everybody's there. Everybody's at the gym. It's packed. You can't do anything. Going to the gym, getting up at 3 o'clock and going to the gym early, being there by 4 o'clock, it's empty. There are a few other people there, but they're like, it's empty. Every machine is open. I can do what I need to do. It's taking it to that point and creating space for yourself. So if you want to live your absolute best life, you have to be willing to go into the darkness. You got to be willing to go into dark areas of your being, of your soul, and activate what you find in those dark areas, like the places in your mind where only you understand it. And you know, if you've ever done this, if you've never done this, my challenge to you is to take time out to really think about the things that you are interested in, those things that you're not doing that you've always wanted to do. And you know what I'm talking about. There's things in your life that you've always wanted to do, but you haven't done it for some reason. Maybe you say, well, I'm always too tired, you get home late, or I don't want to get up that early, all of this stuff, right? Whatever your excuses are, put your excuses to the side for 1 week and just do what it is that you really want to do. Make time for it. If you get off work late and you get off work, let's say you get off work too late to work, my challenge to you is to get up extra early. If you're used to getting up out of your bed at 7 o'clock, get out of your bed at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and devote an hour or two to working on the thing that you really want to do, the thing that you've always wanted to do. Do that for 7 days straight, 7-day challenge. Then, after you've hit that 7th day, challenge yourself to go beyond that. There's a life that each and every one of us are supposed to be living, but we pass on it because it's in an uncomfortable place. Most people don't like to operate in areas where they're uncomfortable. And I understand that. I'm all about operating in your area of strengths, right? But I'm also about balance. Balance is that, yes, I want to operate in my strength area, but I also want to discover if my weaknesses are true weaknesses or if they are weaknesses from a limited mindset where I've given myself a weakness in that area because I've not fought to develop those things, you know? So I'm saying this to you because I know that if you're like most of us, most people on this planet are happiest when we're making progress. And we're unhappy when we're not making progress. Even if you take it as simple as something that, most of us will try to say that, not most of us, and I take that back. Sometimes people will say, I don't need the approval of others. I don't care what other people think. But that's not the truth. The truth is that we all care about what other people think of us. And my point is that the reason why we care about what other people think of us is because what other people think of us tells us something about our progress. It's feedback from the environment, from the social environment, from people saying, hey, you are doing it. You're doing your thing. It means something. It's why a basketball game or football game becomes more exciting when the crowd gets into it. Because when the crowd gets into it, the players feel like they're making progress, like they're doing something. Okay? Now, I'm not saying don't misconstrue what I'm saying by thinking that, what you are trying to do is contingent upon other people liking you. I'm not saying that. Because it's not about a like game. It's not the like, it's the progress. It's the, if you go into doing something simply because you want people to like you or like what you do, that's a mistake. Because it's not about what they like. It's more so about you expressing yourself completely, 100%. Being able to give to the world what you were born to give, and the world's appreciation. They're cheering, they're clapping, they're celebrating of your accomplishments allows you to understand that you're making progress in that zone. So it's not the likes, it's the fact that people are saying, yes, please give us more, bring it on. So, but in order to get there, you have to be willing to go above and beyond. When I go to the gym, I do sets. So I do 16, 12, 10, 8, and then 6. 5 sets. And it's always that same thing. When I do 16, if I do 16 straight without having to stop and take a breather or put the weights down because I've exhausted my muscles and I can't push anymore, then I raise the weight. So if I'm doing 225 on the bench and I get to the 16th rep with no problems, I go to 245. I put 2 10s on each of them. Because when I do the 12 reps, I'm looking to see if I can do 245, all 12 of them. If I can do all 12 of them, then I'll put another 10 and another 10 on the end. If I can't, then I'll stick with that until I'm able to push past that particular set of reps. So what I'm saying to you is, in your life, to reach your best self, you have to push yourself to your limits. And once you push yourself to your limits, go beyond your limits. Do something that increases the standard for you, that increases your expectations. Push yourself. You have to. If you push yourself, now you're in your best self zone. If you're not pushing yourself and everything that you're doing is easy, you're not in your best zone. Because it doesn't happen that way. It's no different than, I'm not advocating fighting, but I like boxing and mixing it up a little bit. Haven't done it in a long time, but it's just when everybody has a plan until you get hit. The reason why that's so serious and that is so much the point is because in life, you find out who you are after you get hit. You find out who you are when you have to struggle. You find out who you are when times are tough. That's when you find out. You want to know if you have a friend? Go through some stuff and see if your friends are still there. That's how you know if they're a real friend. Anybody can be your friend when things are good. No problems, no struggles, money is good, bank account is right, all your bills are paid. Everybody wants to be around you. But when times are tough, when they're hardest, when you got to struggle and you need somebody, you need to lean on, you need some help, that's when you figure out if somebody is really with you or not. Anyway, just a little bit today for you. That's your message on how to be your best self. This is Coach Rye. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the share button. Until next time, peace.